Pieces from the Taiwan seller on eBay. So this is the new trim piece just arrived versus the OEM trim piece. They're very similar. The sizes are almost identical, which is good. The difference is the OEM one is rubber or rubbery versus this is just black ABS plastic. This one weighs, actually they're pretty damn similar in weight. However, the rubber one has a nice flex to it. I wish I had 3 hands for this stuff. Well, I can't show you, but anyway, this one flexes kind of like stiff rubber. This one obviously doesn't. It's just ABS, so it flexes like ABS. The chrome strip I was most worried about, but I'm not now that I have it. I wish it would focus on the chrome. There we go. If you look, you see how it ends there versus the OEM one, how it ends. The difference is the OEM one seems to be rounded slightly, like it's got a bit of a curve, versus this one is just a strip. So that seems to be the only difference there. But I mean, it's, you know, that's just nitpicking. It makes no real difference. However, so if I put this blinker that I got, this is an LED blinker I bought out of California on eBay. $50 it came to Canadian. See, it sits in there, but look, it's pretty loose. That's it moving around. Wow, it just doesn't want to fit in there at all right now. I don't know what's going on. So that's that. Versus when it's in the original or the OEM, here's how it goes in OEM. It actually fits nicely and sits tight. Not really a big deal. I mean, I could put double-sided tape or even glue it in there. I'm not really too worried at all. It's just that is a difference in fitment. So this one is very thin right here versus the thickness of the OEM one, which is interesting because they do look very similar. I think it's just the texture, the rubber texture versus the ABS. It just doesn't fit nice and stiff in there. Oh. Well, there goes that. Anyway, so they're good. The only other issue I have with it is you see the OEM clips, they slide along these rails here, whereas this one, it has rails, but there's this little plastic stop right there, so you can only push it that way or that way. So I've got to actually cut that off because these aren't placed right. It places the trim a little bit too far off of the fender, which again, you know, not the end of the world, but that's that. So is it worth the money? Yeah, compared to OEM prices, it's 100% worth the money. Because I mean, this piece I think OEM is like $80, and for 120 or 150 I got all the door trim pieces except for the bottom, so just the midline trim pieces. And this is getting absolutely filthy. So they do still get dirty. Anyway, that's it. I'd say get them if you want new ones, but just don't. They're not OEM rubber quality. So that might mean that they're going to be UV affected. Which, you know, a little bit of gummy fledge or whatever the trendy thing is these days will take care of. Even back to black or whatever. The end.